Hi, second grade. Mrs. Shook again. We're working on grade 2 skills. We're on unit 3, lesson 13. Our learning goals for today. I can read long and short vowel sounds in one-syllable words. I can identify and spell one- and two-syllable words with the I sound spellings of I space E, I-E, and I. And I can reread the story The Big Race and answer text-based questions. Okay. On the screen, you'll see a chart with 6 different sound spellings for a, I, and O. I'm going to read a series of words, and when I read them, think about what category each word would go into. Okay. Word number 1, cap. A. Number 2, coat. That's an O. 3, tin. I. 4, train. A. Number 5, quite, with an I. Number 6, quill, with an I. 7 is pie, another long I sound. Number 8 is cape, another long A sound. Number 9 is cot, the short O. Number 10 is tine, a long I. Number 11, trip, the short I sound. Number 12 is oats, it's a long O. 13 is toad, another long O. And our last word is J, the long A. Good job. All right, so some review of our sound spelling. So for the short I, the I, we have hit, igloo, sit, him, into, insect, issue, and pin. And then our I tree, our long I sound. For our IE words, we have tie and lie. Our letter I words, Friday and ideal. And our I space E words of sight and fine. All right, on this screen we have different sound spellings for the letter I. So we have I space E words, single I and IE, which all have the I sound, and then words with the single I that has the short I sound. So again, I'm going to read a series of words, we're going to figure out where it goes, and then circle and identify the letter that is making the sound. So number 1 is invite. Invite. Looking at the ending I space E has a long I sound. Number 2 is item. It's going to go on the I category. Circling that first I has a long I sound. Next is dinner. Dinner has a short I sound, I, from the letter I. Number 4 is dried. Dried has an IE, making a long I sound. Number 5, idle. It's a single I, making a long I sound. Number 6 is sinus, also a single I, making the long I sound. Number 7 is tonsil, in the short I category, circling the I. Okay. Next, we've looked at this kind of slide before, where there's a word, and sometimes a two-syllable word, sometimes a two-syllable word has a long vowel sound, and sometimes has a short vowel sound. And if it's a long vowel sound, it's because the vowel is at the end of one of the syllables. So on the screen is the word pilot or pilot. The person that drives an airplane, flies an airplane. What do you think? Yeah, pilot, because that I lands at the end of the first syllable. So here's a series of questions or sentences with different breakdowns. So number 1, people who break the law must go to, is it prison, or prison? Prison. Number 2, my grandmother from Virginia came to visit or visit. Number 3, who crossed the finish or finish line? Finish, of course. The Mississippi River or river flows north and south. River, of course. And number 5, a cold is caused by a virus or virus. And the answer is virus. So again, when the vowel is at the end of a syllable, like in virus, it makes a long vowel sound. And when it's not at the end and it's surrounded by consonants, like in finish, it has a short vowel sound. So we've seen this slide before with our other vowel sounds, but it's kind of like a tug of war. You have to sound out the word and think, is it a long vowel or a short vowel sound? Where does that syllable end? So is it silent or silant? So it's kind of a game of tug of war. All right. One of our activity pages today is 13.1 and 13.2. Again, we've seen these sheets before. 13.1 has a list of different words with the long I sound spellings. So we have a list of I space E words like bike and ride and mice, IE words like lie and pie, and single I words like bicep and lilac. You're going to look at this chart and then use these words to answer the questions on 13.2. 13.2 is a front and back page. Okay, so for example, number 1, which word on the chart is something you do when you are glad? Right? So you look at the whole list, and oh look, there's the word smile. Smile is something you do when you're glad or happy. Okay, so read through the words and answer the questions. Okay, our next portion is the reading portion. Again, you're going to read the story and then answer the questions. Okay, the big race. I got to the pool in time for the 200 free. I sat in the stands with Grover and Joan Castro, Kim and Vale's parents. I am so proud of Kim and Vale, said Grover Castro, but I have a bad case of nerves. I hate it when the two of them swim in the same race. They have both been training so hard. They would both like to win this race, but they can't both win. I don't like to think that one of them may be upset. A man's booming voice filled the air. It's time for the last race of the meet, the man said. Let's meet our swimmers. The man started listing the swimmers in the race. In lane 2, he said, from Red River Swim Program, we have the winner of the 500 free, Vale Castro. Cheers rose up from the RRSP swimmers on the deck and from the fans in the stands. In lane 3, the man said, from Red River Swim Program, the winner of the 500 and 100 free, Kim Castro. There were shouts and cheers for Kim as well. The swimmers got up on the starting blocks. A man in a white coat said, Swimmers, take your marks. The swimmers bent down and grabbed the starting blocks. Then there was a beep. The swimmers shot off. Kim's start was perfect. She did her kick. Then she popped up and started swimming. Her arms went so fast, she seemed to be coasting. She was the fastest swimmer for 100 yards. She made a big wave. The rest of the swimmers were trailing her. They seemed to be bouncing and sloshing in Kim's waves. I was starting to think it would not be such a close race after all. But just as I was thinking this, Grover Castro said, Wait for it. Wait for what? I said. You'll see, said Grover. I looked back at the pool. Kim was still winning, but Vale was closing in on her. The gap was 5 feet. Then it was 3. The swimmers flipped one last time. Kim was starting to look a bit tired. The gap was down to 2 feet. Then it was 1 foot. Then the two sisters were swimming side by side. As they came to the finish line, it was too close to pick a winner. Kim and Vale smacked the side of the pool at what looked to be the same moment. 100 parents in the stands looked up at the clock. 100 swimmers on the deck looked up as well. This is what the clock said. Vale Castro, lane 2, 1 minute 45 seconds. Kim Castro, lane 3, 1 minute 46 seconds. Vale was the winner. On the side, you can see Vale and Kim smiling at each other after Vale's win in the 200 free. Okay, now that you've finished reading, you can always go back and reread, or the story is also printed in your workbook on 13.4. You're now going to answer these multiple choice questions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Don't forget to indicate the page number where you found the answer. Okay, and if you don't have the pages, you can use Google Form for lesson 13. Great job today. See you guys tomorrow.